This is a quick video about how I'm going to be making the stiff tethers with the Samson Predator 8mm. This is the end result. This is the tether that I use for hunting. I have a grabber knot, and this is my sneak hitch that I use to girth hitch the tree. It's just basically an extension. Choose the knot you want after the amount you need for the handle. And this is just the sneak hitch. So this is my modification of Seek Bigger's Better Tether Hitch. It's more like a hitch so that it can be adjusted. Just wrap it around once, through the hole, and over, stop it out. You can adjust it down. Control it. You can adjust it up if you want, if you have a bigger hand. It's much, just doing it once can make it a little bit sloppy. Just enough to do it twice. Have a little bit of slack. Also, more slack will come as you stretch it out. Just enough friction so that it doesn't fall, but is easy to move. This is fish tape. You can buy at Harbor Freight, 50 feet or 100 feet. This is plastic with a fiberglass core inside. If you do use this, make sure that you sand and round the edges really well, both sides, so that it doesn't grab. As you can see right here where I cut it off, it's quite grabby, and it will really mess up. It will really mess up your core if you don't sand it nicely. In this video, I'm going to be using the 5/32 1x19 cable. I've already added a heat shrink to it to make it smooth. This is so that the fibers don't catch on the braids of the cable as it's passing through inside. If you do not put heat shrink, you can catch and then you'll snag it as it goes inside of the core. So if you're going to be making it, buy however much you need. I'll be adding that in the below. This is how you get started. The rope will come with a heat shrunk end. I'm going to be trying to do as little talking as possible. Just very loosely. You get this. You'll pull this off later. This is to keep it from fraying. Alright, so depending on the option you want on the end of your tether, you're going to make your wiggle. But right now, to start, all I care about is making the end knot and counting how much slack I lose. For this Samson Predator, there is no inner core. It's just the braided core. There's nothing inside of it. So when you're adding this 5/32 cable that has heat shrink on it, it becomes 3/16. The same with the fish tape. This is 3/16. You're going to lose 20 inches. So basically 2 inches per foot. So I'm going to mark how much I lose. Then you need to know how much you need to tie your stopper knot. In this instance, I'm going to be using 12 inches. Don't pull it tight. Let it relax. Now what you're going to do is you're going to have about, this is 5 feet. I know I need to insert 10 feet of cable. So this will be slightly different if you're only using the small short section that you cut. I'll discuss about that later. Right now, it's going to bunch up. If your rope is long enough, you don't need to undo the end. It will just bunch up. But I only want to pull back enough to insert the cable. I don't want to make extra work for myself. So after I've done enough, I'm going to measure. So we have our 2 marks. This is where the cable is going to be. So I just need to pull back a little bit more. And that'll be good enough. I'm going to just tie a little knot. So it doesn't come back on me. I'm going to set this to the side. Once your core is exposed, be very gentle to not snag it on anything. If you're using cable with heat shrink on it, go slow. You're going to want to make sure you make it really nice and round and smooth so that there's just nothing to catch the core as you're passing through. You can take a little piece and if it catches on anything, you might be in trouble. Heat it up and tap it down nice and smooth. So we're going to be losing this much rope. This rope is for our end knot. So I'm going to start inserting the cable into this second mark. Get yourself a nice good pick. Now, just steady hands. You're going to expand it. Trying not to catch single fibers. It's actually a lot easier than it looks. It's not too hard. Once you feel like you've gotten that inserted, you're going to give a gentle pull. This part is just going to go very, very slow. If the end of your cable or fish tape is nice and round, this part will be very easy. If it has any sharp edges, it will catch and snag, and you'll be in a world of trouble. I highly suggest buying an extra few feet and practicing with a throwaway piece if you're going to be doing this for your first time. Don't expect your first time to go very well, unless you've done something similar before. Now, there's no rush. You want to go very, very nice and slow. I give you a little shaking action to guarantee it. If for any reason you feel like you hit a snag, just back it out a little bit. You don't want to expand it too much either. You want to keep it as tight as you possibly can. Also make sure you don't have any dry skin or things on your fingernails that can catch the core. We're going to be doing this until the cable is fully inserted into the rope. I'm going to be speeding this part up. If you don't want to be adding scent to the rope, make sure you wash your hands very well. And if you do have dry skin, keep making your hands damp. Don't use any sort of don't use cream or anything. Just keep damp. Go wash your hands, get them damp again. You notice any sort of twist going on, now's the time to give it the gentle twist back to where it should be straight again. Now as you're getting close to the end, monitor so you don't go too far. I'm taking the twist out. Okay, so now here. So now once I've reached my mark, I'm going to pinch it here, and I'm going to go back the other way, much more tight. Going to make sure that I'm still at my mark. I'll lay this down. Being careful not to snag it on anything. Now I can undo this. grabbing this very tight. It should bunch up a little bit right here and then pop free. This part might take a while, and you can burn your hand. If you want to wear a glove, that's fine too. You're just taking some of the slack out. We've covered our next point, but we still have this much slack to get. However, get yourself a cord, start at the other end, I like to make a two loop prusik. And what I'm doing is I'm using this to help pull out. It's slow. But it's worth it. You just have to cycle up. You do have to get my hand being out of the way. Start to bunch of big my hand. That's that. One side. This is towards the engaging core and sheath back together. As tight as they were when you light. Not towards. You can get this, not towards this. Now I'm back. Just gonna get the slack out of my hand. As you can see, we're almost back at our mark. We're actually at our mark. And we've reached the stiffened section. So just to ensure, I'm going to loosen the prusik. Slide it onto the larger diameter. This is the stiff section now. And do the same thing. You'll see that it's actually bunching up, and you're getting it. There we go. This is the back to the smaller diameter. Oops. Our piece of tape came off. Don't worry, we're going to be cutting that in putting some heat shrink. Alright, take your prusik off. So as you can see, we lost a little less than what I had said, because we did it really tight. If you just do it by hand, you might not get it that good. So as you can see, we lost 14 inches of sheath. So now I'm going to go ahead and tie my stopper knot. Oops. On this core, it's a little bit different. You can't just use a normal stopper knot like a what you call it? Oh, I did forget that. So what I like to do is take the same cord. And get that really secure. Now, the reason we keep this end is so that you have something to grab on, get it really tight. You can cut it off. If you just try to measure exactly what you need, you're really not going to have anything to work with. Now, I noticed that I can actually do one more. So that's a figure 8, and then depending on how long you want your tail. I just leave mine at about a couple of inches. I guessed that one wrong. It doesn't have to be 2 inches, it can be a little shorter than that. So, is it always better to have a little extra that you lose? So that's one end. Now, just in case I lost anything, I'm just going to take this. Make sure. Go back this way. If you bought the exact amount of rope that you need, then you'll know that in order to tie this little stopper knot, it's about 32 inches. So let's make a little guesstimate. If you've done this before and you know exactly where you want. So, wait, then you could cut it here. So for example, this could be a rappel rope. If this end was instead this end, you would now have your stiffened tether attached to the end of a rappel rope, and you wouldn't need to do anything like this. If you're just trying to make a tether like this, then this is our stopper knot. This is going to be our barrel knot. So I have found that a figure 8 knot is the best way to get this to stop. Like I said, if you're dealing with a shorter piece of rope, or you've practiced this enough, you don't need to tie the knot with the length of this rope. But I'm just demonstrating to you what you would do if you had enough. A lot of the force is going to push the knot this way, so I want to start it by getting the knot as tight as possible onto the stiffened portion. So that's what gives me the basis of my handle, as you can see here. It's because the stiff portion goes all the way to the end of this knot, giving me more control of the tether. Now, for my hand size, I like 6 loops, but you can always do less. I'm going to pass this back through here. We're just going to slowly start to take slack out. Make this knot a little tighter. Okay. So now we have the beginnings of our barrel knot. You see, this is where we're going to be cutting it off, potentially. I think I did 7 reps. I'll explain why I have that excess. There we go. So now we're just going to be looping this around. This is where it comes in handy to have something like this. very gently. Oh no. I had enough wraps. Now I'm off. I did that right. By the time you pull the slack through, which is why you don't want to cut it here, because then it gives you nothing to pull on. Now, I'm just twisting it in the direction that it goes. Slowly working all the slack of it out of it. I'm trying to grip very carefully and pull so that I'm not snagging the rope at all. I'm twisting. You can tie whatever knot you want. This is just something that's going to give you the figure 8 is what gives us a nice rounded edge, and is what keeps the from coming off. Yeah. Oh, there we go. So there's our measurement. Like I said, if you get all the slack out of it, it can be quite a lot of effort, and you certainly would need to make a mark. I just wanted to demonstrate the point that if you have good measurements, you'll know when it's tight enough. So now I know that this barrel knot is my nice handle. Now, I'm just going to take that tape off. So, like this, I have about a couple inches of slack. I only want to do one wrap, so I can fit my heat shrink over it. I'll do my second piece. So, if you were going to do something like my sneak hitch, obviously you could cut it much further down and tie whatever knot you want. If you want something like a looped end, you could do something like, you know, any kind of loop that gives you gives you a loop to grab a carabiner onto, if that's what you want to do. So, if you're making this yourself, that's what you decide. This one is for somebody who wants the better tether hitch. So I put tape on both ends so that neither side frays. I'm gonna a little bit more to this one so it's more permanent, because I won't be using this rope. All that's left is to add some heat shrink on each of the ends, and your stiffened tether is done. As you can see. Coil it up. Now I'm going to go heat shrink these up. And that's pretty much all you need to know for Samson Predator 8mm. Adding a stiff core.